Hello. How are you? Welcome to Sunday evening. Just going to make sure that everything is good to go and we're live in the right spot. If you're joining me live on Sunday night, drop a comment, let me know you're here. Give me a thumbs up if everything looks okay on your end. I think we are good to go. Yes, I think we are. So good evening, everyone. My name is Jenna Moore, and if you're new to my page, every Sunday night at 7:30 p.m., I go live in my Facebook page and we do some crafting, which we will get to. So first I want to know, what did you do this weekend? It's hard for me to believe or admit that it's December. I don't know if you feel the same way, but I had this realization this week that we're in December and it's full on holiday season, and I'm feeling a little behind the eight ball. So this week I think I made some progress, so I don't know if you're the same. This week I did my first batch of baking, and I made a dent in my Christmas shopping list, so that was good. Today actually was a milestone. Today was the very last card class in my studio for the year. So this afternoon we had a couple ladies join the beginner Christmas class. So thank you for joining for that. I hope that everyone had fun, which everyone seemed to. So it was a fun afternoon, just making a few designs of Christmas cards. So those ladies got a head start on their Christmas cards to be sent out, so that was a lot of fun. And I baked ginger molasses cookies, so that was my first set of Christmas baking, which that was part of the class today. But anyways, that's what I've been up to. Yesterday I also participated in a daily December class. So without going into a whole lot of details, it's like a mini scrapbook where you document your December happenings, social events, and whatnot. And that's a fun way with our memory and more card packs, which if you're not familiar with those are our sort of scrapbooking elements in the Stampin' Up! World. So if you're a scrapbooker and you have not checked out the Memories and More sets, then you should do that. But anyways, I'll share my daily December scrapbook as I go through the days of December. So anyways, I hope you're well, and we will get started into crafting. So tonight I'm going to show you a gift card holder design, because you may not have a lot of gifts to buy, but if you're like me, you have somebody who you're buying a gift card for. And so a gift card holder is a fun way just to package that up and give it to the recipient. Oh, hi, Janine. Oh, you went to the Magic Light Show. Yes, it is amazing. I agree. Last week I didn't go live on Sunday. We went with my 3 little nieces last Saturday. It was a bit much for them. The drive from our house to Longwoods Conservation Area was a bit too long of a hike for them, but I as an adult thoroughly enjoyed it. So if nobody else did, the adults did. So I'm glad that you were able to go, Janine. It's great. So if you're from the London area and you have not seen the Magic Light Show out in Longwoods, you should go. It's worth it, in my opinion. Go on a weeknight, don't go on a weekend. That would be my only suggestion. So that is another fun thing that you can do during the holiday season. So I'm gonna flip my screen around and we're gonna get started. Okay, here we go. A little cockeyed, but that's okay. So this is our mini July to December catalog. It will be ending on January 3rd, 2022. Starting at the beginning of the month, some of our retiring product has gone on sale. So you want to check out the last chance list. There are some discounted products in this catalog that are up to 50% off, and they will be while supplies last or until January 3rd. I can tell you already that there are some items in this catalog that are no longer available. One of them being I probably won't be able to find. Let's see. The Whimsical Trees. I feel like that's what it's called. Beautiful designer series paper is no longer available. So if you're looking at the catalog, I'm not going to be able to put my hands on it. Just bear with me for a second as I flip through. This paper, no longer available. So if you're looking for this paper, you won't be able to get it anymore. So the thing with the catalog is as we get to the end of the period, it is while supplies last. So if there is something in this catalog that you want, that you know for sure is retiring, you want to get it sooner rather than later. So one thing the suite that I'm going to work with tonight for the gift card holders is one of our retiring products. So I am going to be working with the Gingerbread and Peppermint Suite, and if you haven't looked at this, this is a super cute suite, all the elements of holiday baking. And so when I was baking this week, I was thinking of this suite and how fun it would be to create some gift card holders with it. My favorite element in this whole suite is the paper because it's super fun. It's traditional Christmas colors, reds, greens, and browns. And it has all of the elements to create fun cards without having to invest in the whole suite if the rest of it doesn't interest you. I will say the memories and more that I was talking about, the scrapbooking elements, is in this suite, and it is super cute. It's got these, you can't see it here, little baking racks and oven mitts and little spatulas. Incredibly cute. So if nothing else in this suite is something that you're interested in, check out the memories and more and the designer series paper. So before I show you my gift card holder, I do want to show you a couple other cards using the designer series paper from that suite. So I have two cards to start off with. These are cards that I participated in a class with. These were designed by Anne Granger. And so the designer series paper is used here. And these cute little, I believe they're supposed to be mitten cookies. So I cut them out. I just fussy cut them. There are no dies that coordinate with this image in the designer series paper, but they're super easy to fussy cut out. And then a couple of gems. I used a different stamp set, but anyways, there's that one. And then another one created by Anne Granger is this one. So these are Belle cookies. I've cut them out. It's fun little design here. And again, I used the same stamp set I'm going to use tonight, which is Christmas to Remember, which is a stamp set that is not retiring. So that's exciting because I love this stamp set, which I will show you in a second. And then this card I received in a swap for our team. This one was designed by Ashley Zock, and it uses that same mitten cookie and the designer series paper on the back here. And this is a fun red ruffle ribbon. This will actually be retiring, so if you love ribbon like I do, this is something you'll want to stock up on. So what I want to show you tonight are gift card holders. So I've got two design, well, they're the same design, two different variations. So this gift card holder, you open it up and it's got the little flap in here. So I've pulled in the designer series paper. I've fussy cut two of the ornament cookies out. I used baker's twine, and then I used the stamp set, which I said we were going to use. This is the Christmas to Remember. So if you haven't looked at this in the catalog, I would take a look at it. I love the font. It's got the bold and the script font. I really love the script fonts in the stamp set, so this is one I will be holding on to for a while. So we're going to be using that stamp set. So I'm going to show you how to make this pocket gift card holder. The reason I like this layout or this this gift card holder pattern is because I find it easy to recreate. So if you have a lot of gift card that you are gifting, this is a great design. It's not super difficult to remember the measurements, and you can use any supplies that you have on hand. So any designer series paper you have, this would be great for birthday cards also. So if you're not into doing Christmas gift card holders, there's probably someone on your birthday list for next year that you'll need a gift card holder for. So this is a great design to keep in mind for that. So two different ones here. I'm going to show you how to make this one. I'm going to put these aside, and actually I've switched colors. So like I said, this designer series paper pulled in traditional Christmas colors. So the green is Old Olive, which is the cardstock I used on this one. Real Red, which is the red that I've pulled in with this cardstock. And then the browns are Cinnamon Cider, which is one of our in colors, which is the one that this card is. And also Early Espresso, which was the ink that I used on these cards. Okay, so I'm gonna put them sort of off to the side here, and I do have the measurements written down. So hopefully, maybe I'll zoom in here, because then hopefully you can see the measurements. So we are starting with a basic card base. Nope, I need to zoom out. A basic card base, but cut the long way. So this came from one 8.5 by 11 sheet of cardstock. I cut it at 4 1/4 vertically down the middle. Usually I would cut it this way at 5 1/2, but for the gift card, I need the long piece of paper. So this is 4 1/4 by 11. I am going to show you the score lines on my trimmer. So you need 2 score lines in this card. So your first score line will be at 1 1/2. And our Stampin' Up! Trimmer has not only a cutting blade, but a score blade. So everything all in one. So at 1 1/2 and then 5 1/2, which is the middle. 5 1/2 is your middle score line. Okay, so put that aside. And then the first thing you want to do is fold on your score lines and burnish those edges. So I'm using my bone folder. Get those two here. So this fold on the inside creates the pocket for your gift card. Okay, so now we're going to add some designer series paper. So we have 3 pieces of designer series paper for the card. The front flap measures 4 inches by 3 3/4. The inside left here for the gift card pocket is 4 inches by 1 1/2. And again, with designer series paper, you can choose which sides of the paper you're going to use. This paper would be a little hard to do that because it's got the cutouts there, but actually I'll show you a sample of the paper from the pack up close. So as you can see, we have some fun patterns. These would be great for the panel pieces of the gift card holder here. And then we have some sheets that have these cookie elements. So these, there are some dies that coordinate with the paper, but for me, because I don't have the dies, I just fussy cut them, and it really didn't take me that long. These trees that are cookies, the smaller print cookies, and then another sheet, and then the other side are these fun patterns. Okay, so put those aside. So those are the 2 panels, and then the last panel, which is going to go on the inside right here, this measures 4 inches by 2 inches. Okay, so I'm going to glue the front panel on first, and it's not a square. One side is an inch, or not an inch, a 1/4 inch shorter, so you do want to make sure it's going the right way. I'm just using Stampin' Seal on here. I'm going to line this up so there's a thin border around it. And put that down. And then I'm going to put the inside right flap down. And all I'm doing, it doesn't matter how far in it goes, but I want to make sure there's a uniform border around the other 3 sides. Okay, so I've got it like that. And you could choose to make these 2 patterns the same. I chose them to be different so that there was a bit of a contrast. And then before I glue this down, I actually want to punch out the little notch for my gift card holder. So I'm actually going to line them up here and then punch them out. So When it comes to making the notch for the gift card holder, in my opinion, it doesn't matter which punch you use. I happen to have the double oval punch. You just want something that's going to look like a notch out of the cardstock. I'll show you one of my other designs. So this one I use the double oval, which is what I'm using here. And then this one I use the Taylor tag punch, so it creates this triangle. Again, it doesn't really matter. You just want something so that your gift card, which I had a card here. So when you put your card in, that someone can easily pull it out. So it doesn't, like I said, it doesn't really matter. So I'm actually going to line these up first, and that's only so that the punch shape is the same on both pieces at the right spot. And I'm just going to put that in slightly. You're just creating a small notch, and then I'm going to punch those pieces out. Those are garbage. And then I'm going to glue this flap on. So again, Stampin' Seal on the flap. And I'm just going to line it up so that there's a bit of a border. And there we go. Okay. So now I want to close up this flap. So I would use a stronger adhesive than your Stampin' Seal. You could use the Tombow liquid glue, but for 3D projects and gift card holders, I like to use our tear and tape. This is a much stronger adhesive, and it will hold down these flaps so that they do not go anywhere, because you don't want your gift card falling out of your card before you give it to the recipient. So tear and tape lives up to its name. You just pull it back and then tear a piece off. You could use scissors, but nobody's gonna see this. So it's okay that I've torn it. And I'm gonna put it in as close to the edge as I can on the two sides. You don't need any adhesive here. You just want it on the side so it creates a pocket. And then the tear and tape has a backing on it, so you want to lift it. Either if you have fingernails, you can lift it off, or otherwise use your paper snips to peel back the backing on the tear and tape. So then I'm going to close that up. And then you'll see the gift card will fit right in there. Okay. So there we have that. To finish the inside of the card, I'm going to put a piece of basic white so that I can do a message on the inside. And so this piece of basic white measures 4 inches. Yes, 4 inches by 3 1/4. It does overlap a bit, and that's okay because I want there to be sort of a clean edge there. So now if you were going to stamp on this piece of white to put on the inside of the card, I would stamp it first and then glue it down, because that way if your stamped image doesn't turn out, then you can always flip it over and stamp it before you glue it down. Okay, so I'm lining it up with the left hand side and then lining it up with the top and bottom of my designer series paper. There we go. Okay, so that's the outside. So we have all the basic pieces of our gift card holder put together, and now what we're going to do is decorate the front. So for the sentiment, I'm actually using one of the die sets in the July to December. These are called the seasonal label dies, and they do have a lot of dies for sentiments or labels in this set. So there's quite a few, there's 19 to be exact, 19 dies in this set. There's little notches to create holes at the ends of the tag so that you can loop ribbon or twine through. So I'm going to pull out this one, put these away, and I'm going to grab a piece of basic white, and this is just a scrap piece. You just want it big enough that your label will fit. Okay, so let's die cut this. I'm going to grab my mini machine, which I haven't opened. There we go. So most of these dies, if not all of them, will fit in the mini machine. If you have the standard machine, of course, that will fit in that machine also. I'm going to lay down my cutting plates and put my cardstock on and my label. And then I'm going to put my other clear plate, except I don't want to shift my die. So here we go. And run that through. There we go. Pull out my label and then move this to the side. And then we're going to do our stamping. So the stamp that I've picked out of the Christmas to Remember is this one down here. It says, "May this be a Christmas to remember and cherish." I think I've used this sentiment more than any of the others in this stamp set this year. Okay, clean that off. And I'm using real red instead of the early espresso, which is what I used on the samples. So I like to pick any of the coordinating colors from the designer series paper. If you're ever wondering what the colors are in the paper, I'm just going to grab my craft here. They are always listed on the back of the cardstock. Hopefully this will focus. It tells you right what the coordinating colors are of the paper, which is super handy. Then you don't have to do any guesswork. It's all there for you. Okay, so pulling in real red ink in our stamp. I'm going to ink that up. And then stamp on the label. Firm pressure and lift straight up. Close that ink. So we've got that. And oh goodness. So we are creating the front of the card just like this one. So I already fussy cut 2 of these mittens out. You do sort of want to make sure that they're the 2 different hands of mittens. So we have those and our label. And then I've actually cut out from one of the pieces of paper. So I've cut out some of these little candies. And here there's a bunch of sheets that have little candies on them. So there's these ones too. This sheet of candies. And then this one has a bunch of different sized ones. So I've cut out a few. And I'm going to embellish with these on the right hand side flap. So I'm going to grab my regular size dimensionals and my mini dimensionals. I'm going to use the mini dimensionals on the little candies. And I'm just going to put a few of them on the right hand side here. Now if you didn't have mini dimensionals, you could use the regular size dimensionals and just cut them down to size. But I find the mini dimensionals come in handy when you're using small pieces like this. So I've got 3 of them there. And then I'm going to take my label and put probably 3 dimensionals on the back of this label. And I'm starting with the label because I want to make sure I have enough room. I don't want to put down my mittens first and then find out I don't have enough room for my label. So I'm going to put my label up here. And then the mittens I can move around now. These extra candies, I would just hold on to them. I have a hard time throwing out scraps of paper. So in my bag you would see where I fussy cut all of the ornaments, but I still have these candies that I'm holding on to just in case I need them. Okay, so we have the mittens, and then I've grabbed the white baker's twine. This twine comes in a 4, I believe it's 4, second guessing myself. There's 4 or 5 rolls of neutral colored baker's twine in one pack. So it's called the Essentials pack. And I'm just going to cut that much off. And then first I'm going to glue them to the back of the mittens. This kind of reminds me of when you're in elementary school and your mittens are stuck together because your parents don't want you to lose your mittens. Okay, so they're now connected, and I'm going to put one dimensional on either side. And I'm going to start by putting those down first. So just, I'm going to put them on a bit of an angle. And then I have this extra baker's twine, which we're going to strategically, maybe not, lift up this Stampin' Dimensional, tuck that under a bit. Doesn't have to look perfect. And so they're kind of just looped in there. Oh goodness. Here we go. So that baker's twine is just sitting there. And then I'm going to take the baker's twine again and tie a bow. I like to tie the bows right on the roll so that I'm not wasting twine. If I cut it and it's too short, then I have to throw it that piece. This is something I promise you is not difficult. Something that just takes a little practice. But you just tie the bows the same as you would your shoes. And then I'm going to cut that off. And I'm going to use this bow to tack down some of this extra twine. So I'm going to use a glue dot for this. I'm going to roll that up and use the knot of the bow to pick up the glue dot and tuck some of this extra in and then use that there. So that sort of holds down the extra baker's twine there from the mittens. Okay, and that's the end of the card. If you wanted to add some rhinestones, you could. I think these patterns of designer series paper are busy as they are, so it doesn't really need a lot of embellishment. The paper goes a long way to add little embellished tidbits on your card. So this is a fun design for your gift cards. For anybody, you could stick a gift card for a coffee shop or for some shopping, maybe for a teenager. I find that teenagers, the older they get, the more cash is king, right? So gift card holders are especially important for that age group. If you have any questions about the gift card holder that we worked with tonight, please let me know. If you have any questions about any of the products that I've used here tonight, feel free to reach out. If you're watching this on YouTube, please make sure to give this comment a thumbs up and make sure to subscribe to my channel so that you don't miss out any videos. Otherwise, I hope that you have a great evening and enjoy your week. Take care. Have a good night. Bye now.